Quotes from Napoleon Bonaparte. Show me a family of readers, and I will show you the people who move the world. Courage isn't having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have strength. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Imagination governs the world. History is a set of lies agreed upon. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. Impossible is a word to be found only in the dictionary of fools. Nothing is more difficult, and therefore more precious, than to be able to decide. Alexander, Caesar, Charlemagne, and I have founded empires. But on what did we rest the creations of our genius? Upon force. Jesus Christ founded his empire upon love, and at this hour millions of men would die for him. Take time to deliberate, but when the time for action comes, stop thinking and go in. The only victories which leave no regret are those which are gained over ignorance. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. Men are moved by two levers only: fear and self-interest. There are but two powers in the world: the sword and the mind. In the long run, the sword is always beaten by the mind. The world suffers a lot, not because of the violence of bad people, but because of the silence of the good people. 10 people who speak make more noise than 10,000 who are silent. The reason most people fail instead of succeed is they trade what they want most for what they want at the moment. He who fears being conquered is sure of defeat. Death is nothing, but to live defeated and inglorious is to die daily. Ability is of little account without opportunity. The hand that gives is among the hand that takes. Money has no fatherland. Financiers are without patriotism and without decency. Their sole object is gain. The surest way to remain poor is to be honest. A true man hates no one. The best cure for the body is a quiet mind. If we could read the past histories of all our enemies, we would disregard all hostility for them. The extent of your consciousness is limited only by your ability to love, and to embrace with your love the space around you, and all it contains. It's the unconquerable soul of man, and not the nature of the weapons he uses, that ensures victory. Great ambition is the passion of a great character. Those endowed with it may perform very good or bad acts. All depends on the principles which direct them. It requires more courage to suffer than to die. All great events hang by a single thread. The clever man takes advantage of everything, neglects nothing that may give him some added opportunity. The less clever man, by neglecting one thing, sometimes misses everything. Courage cannot be counterfeited. It is one virtue that escapes hypocrisy. One must learn to forgive and not to hold a hostile, bitter attitude of mind which offends those about us and prevents us from enjoying ourselves. One must recognize human shortcomings and adjust himself to them, rather than to be constantly finding fault with them. The herd seek out the great, not for their sake, but for their influence, and the great welcome them out of vanity or need. To write history, one must be more than a man, since the author who holds the pen of this great justiciary must be free from all preoccupation of interest or vanity. One must indeed be ignorant of the methods of genius, to suppose that it allows itself to be cramped by forms. Forms are for mediocrity, and it is fortunate that mediocrity can act only according to routine. Ability takes its flight unhindered. The laws of circumstance are abolished by new circumstances. Lead the ideas of your time, and they will accompany and support you. Fall behind them, and they drag you along with them. Oppose them, and they will overwhelm you. It is only by prudence, wisdom, and dexterity that great ends are attained and obstacles overcome. Without these qualities, nothing succeeds. It is not true that men never change. They change for the worse, as well as for the better. It is not true they are ungrateful. More often the benefactor rates his favors higher than their worth, and often too he does not allow for circumstances. If few men have the moral force to resist impulses, most men do carry within themselves the gems of virtues, as well as of vices, of heroism, as well as of cowardice. Such is human nature. Education and circumstances do the rest. It is a mistake, too, to say that the face is the mirror of the soul. The truth is, men are very hard to know, and yet, not to be deceived, we must judge them by their present actions, but for the present only. There is no place in a fanatic's head where reason can enter. Greatness is nothing unless it be lasting. The fool has no great advantage over a man of sense. He is always satisfied with himself. True character stands the test of emergencies. Do not be mistaken. It is weakness from which the awakening is rude. From triumph to failure is only one step.